All right, it's 7 p.m. Well, it's a little after 7, but only a little after 7. Thank you so much for your patience. I'd like to call our meeting to order. The Town of Edmonston Town Council meeting to order. And if we all could pledge to the flag. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, we will pause for a moment of silence before we proceed with our meeting. Thank you. Welcome, everybody, again.
Yeah.
All right. So right now, if there are any residents or businesses or anyone that would like to speak, present anything to the town council, oh Lord, town council, we can, you can do so at this time. All right, then we have everybody else here anyway, so let's go on with the meeting. The first item on our, sorry, yes, ma'am.
Oh, sorry, Madam Mayor. It looked like Mr. Barnes maybe had put in the chat that there might be a resident that wanted to speak, or is Jason, is there a Pepco guy?
Jason is the attorney that we talked to.
Oh, that's an old chat. Sorry.
No problem. Thank you, Ms. Hillary, for noting that, for seeing that. We'll go on with our agenda since there's no public comment, and we'll go on to our business.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, is there someone that wants to speak?
Yes, this is Duty Doyle over at Emerson.
Hi, Mr. Doyle.
Hello, how are you?
Great, Mr. Doyle. Thanks for being here with us. Did you want to say something?
Yes, I did. I've had a couple of people telling me about the problems we're having out here on Saturday mornings about the food line. There's been a couple of arguments of people trying to get through there, and it's happened the last couple of weekends on a Saturday. You know, when the line on the early mornings, trying to go between Decatur Street and the town hall on 52nd, they cannot get through there because if one car turns off Decatur onto 52nd and the one's coming up 52nd, they head to a dead end. And there's been some arguments of the drivers. Is there a thing that they can work on to eliminate some of that traffic?
Thank you, Mr. Doyle, for bringing that up. What we'll do is we'll get with the chief. They've been doing it for, what is it, almost 2 years now. But the last couple of weeks, it's been larger, mainly because of the holidays. And we do have our officers there now that are trying to assist with traffic control. So we can talk with our acting chief and see what we can come up with. It's a great service. We can tell it's a great service because people are coming. But sometimes we have some weeks where it's very light. So we don't want the arguments. I do know that there has been some. So I think that we can come up with a cure ahead of time. So, going into this, we didn't know what the turnout would be. And, most people drop off after a while. I mean, with organizations doing something like this, but this organization is really sold and we're glad to be supportive of them. So, that's a good point. And we'll check that out. Right, Chief?
Yes, ma'am. We'll look into it.
Yes,
Okay.
like I say, it's only been the last couple weeks that's really gotten real bad.
Yeah.
And when I was walking the dog out Saturday, there's a couple people got into a heated discussion about who was going to back up and who was going to go forward.
Oh, you said a
And
discussion.
like I say, oh yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It was a discussion, but finally they cooled off, and a couple of cars pulled over the curb a little bit so they could, finally get through. But it was, it's gotten worse the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's that holiday. We gave away.
Yes,
They did 100 and some. No, more than that. 400. Like 400 turkeys on the Thanksgiving, right before Thanksgiving. 400.
Yeah, I know the traffic. It was clear down to Cater Street too, up to the Cater Street to the stoplight. So
Yep.
it's getting worse. I like to say towards the holidays, but
Yeah.
just hope nothing happens bad between now and then. That's all I was trying to say.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Just to let them know that
Alrighty.
we're aware of it, and Chief is going to work on it. Our police department. Thank you.
That sounds good. Okay, that sounds good.
All right. Thanks for what you do.
Thank you. No problem. Love doing it.
All right. Take care. All righty. We were going to review the, Lord. So I'm sorry, I started the agenda without asking the council to approve the agenda for this evening. If there are any edits or changes to the agenda.
I'll make the motion to accept the agenda, but I do know that there are a few adjustments that we need to make.
Flood mitigation adjustment and
Yes.
the cost
Cost of the-
salary for police
Yes.
officers. Is there a
That's
second?
correct.
Second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent, thank you. So the first item on the agenda is the final consideration of ordinance 22-OR-0707, granting a renewal of the cable franchise to Comcast of Maryland agreement and authorizing a franchise agreement. Our town attorney, Sue Ella Ferguson, will explain all of this wonderful information. Go ahead, Ms. Ferguson.
Well, this took 10 years. I know it doesn't seem like it. In any event, we can recommend it. It will be the same terms for everybody in the county, all municipalities and the county. And you'll retain your 5% franchise fee, 3% PEG fee. Comcast is only guaranteeing the INET for another 10 years. I know the police department relies on that and a number of other communication points at town hall. So, but we're working on that in the INET committee so that we'll have a plan in our strategic plan to take care of that. And I think it's one of the best franchises in the United States, frankly.
Oh,
Yeah, it is. There is a cable lawyer that is one of the legal team on this, and he does these all over the country. And so this is a good franchise for the county and the municipalities, and it should be adopted.
so I also, we hear that you are the guru. Well, I already knew you were the guru on this. So thank you for all of your years of service, serving on this commission, I guess. Is it franchise or cable commission?
No, it's just a negotiating team.
As the negotiating team. Thank you for being the front runner. So she's explained all those technical things to us that we understand and we can grasp. So I'll ask the council for approval of ordinance 22-OR-07.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Ms. Cully. And thank you, Ms. Chester. Did you make the
Oh.
second?
I thought Mr. Johnson was going to, his square lit up. So-
Okay. And Mr. Johnson, thank you. Ms. McCully, Mr. Johnson, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 All right, thank you. So that motion passed. And then, Ms. Ferguson, the consideration of a franchise agreement with Comcast of Maryland.
Thank you.
Mhm. And so that's the same thing, actually.
Yes,
So
it's,
is there a motion?
and this is, the
Mhm.
initially the form attached. The one thing that will change on this, there'll be some nips and tucks to it. Still, we're still finding little errors in it, but the exhibits that are attached have to be looked at very carefully to make sure that all of your drops are listed and your PEG origination point, which I know is your town hall, so that everybody does that, all 27 municipalities and the county gets all their list in there. And then it'll be finalized, at which point we'll be asking all the towns and cities to sign off, but we're not going to sign off yet until we get the final exhibits.
Excellent. So this motion is just for the consideration of a franchise agreement with Comcast. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Ms. McCully.
I'll second.
Thank you so much, Ms. Chester. I know it's difficult for you. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Excellent, thank you. The next item on the agenda is our minutes. The next items are our minutes. And it is for November the 9th, our work session, and November the 9th, our regular session meeting minutes. At this time, I'll accept the motion to approve those minutes.
Make a
Go,
motion to approve.
go. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Thank you,
I
Mr.
will second the motion.
Thanks so much, Ms. Chester. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Discussion on the minutes at all? All right. Thank you. The next item is consideration of approval of the job description for our communication specialist and authorizing full-time status beginning January 1, 2023. We discussed this, Mr. Barnes, if you'd like to expound about how fantastic Ms. Asha is. She started off as part-time, and go ahead, I'll let you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. So this was actually an initiative that Mayor Gant started way back in, I guess it might have been even fall of 2021, as we brought on Brand New to do a study of our social media. It was also a priority for Councilmember Chester as we tried to figure out ways to excuse me, engage the community more, to get our information out. And so we brought on Asha as an intern last June. She's worked diligently to increase our presence on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and through constant contact. She's the statistics that she's shown each month by month, we're growing with the number of contacts in each of those entities. She's developed it's called the Mayor's Minute, and we've done, if you haven't seen them, please pay attention to the greetings that we do a lot of times around a holiday. Mayor Gant did a really great Veterans Day greeting, and then
Thank you, Mr.
Thanksgiving, you all's picture, if you didn't see it, your all's picture came popping up on the screen as she was talking. I thought that was really cool. And I know that Asha's working on a holiday one with each of you recording a message. So if you haven't recorded your message, please stop by Town Hall or get with Asha and get the message recorded for next week. The salary on this is $41,600. It would have full benefits starting in January, so she has not had any of those up until this point. And we would be taking that from our lag in hiring of police officers and using that for this rest of the year. And when I bring the budget amendment to you in June, we would amend accordingly for that. But I know from Avery and I's standpoint and Chief Beal, we are appreciating greatly the efforts of marketing our programs and events and information. So appreciate her job. We will, as was asked in the work session, we will be modifying a job description for an existing admin assistant that had some of these duties in her job, and we'll be modifying that to bring back to you at a future council meeting. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I think it's a great thing we're doing. She's awesome. So with that, I'll make the motion that we hire her at $41,600, not the salary of $4. That's,
I know.
I started cracking up.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ms. McCulley. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks so much, Ms. Chester. Any discussion on this? Fantastic. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Fantastic. That motion passes. Yay. I'm excited about it. I think that we've made some giant steps by having our other marketing brand new come in and start to get some things rolling. We have a brand, and then Asha came in and did exactly what we were hoping to gain all along. So it's just a wonderful thing. I'm glad with our progress, and thank you, council, for agreeing and working with her. And the next item is the introduction and approval of ordinance 22-OR-08, modifying the personnel policies and guidelines under section 8-4 holiday pay. The following sentence states, police department employees are paid 8 hours of additional pay on all specified holidays unless they are on designated leave. So we're going to adjust that statement, correct? That's not the new statement.
Correct. So what has happened? Go ahead, Chief. You can explain.
Yes, that's correct. So what was happening was officers were getting paid to be off. And part of the incentive to working on holidays is that extra pay. So by adjusting that, we're giving the incentive to the officers actually working, because what happened is officers would tend to call out knowing that they're going to get paid regardless.
Yep. Unfortunately. So I think that we discussed this and we all definitely agree with this change. So
also, Mayor, one other thing. Sue Ellen noticed that we had never put into ordinance that designating Juneteenth as a holiday.
Oh, yeah.
Even though you had approved it. So I believe she's in the final version that came out late tonight. I believe that's in there also. Is that correct, Sue Ellen?
It is.
Is that something that the council approves of?
It's
Yes.
also in the personnel manual, so you would have to, yes, to show it there.
We would have to show it in the person.
You'd have to adopt it by an ordinance.
Mhm.
Because we
Okay.
need personnel manual, have to do it by ordinance. So we decided to do it at the same time since you're in that section already anyway.
Superb. All right. So that is, so we can make both of those. We can make a motion for both of those changes.
Yeah.
So it is to accept the adjustment on the holiday pay for personnel, our police personnel, as well as the adding Juneteenth to our personnel manual. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Ms. McCulley. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any other discussion on that? Okay, great. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for bringing that to our attention, Chief, and making that adjustment. And Sue Ellen, thank you. So we're going to go down to the, oh yeah. So the next item is the consideration of approval to pay the biweekly salary for 6 to 9 months for a potential police officer candidate to attend and become certified through a municipal police academy. And our acting chief is going to highlight that information for approval.
Yeah, so once we make the adjustment for the pay wise, I think it benefits the town because we can, like I said, mold our own officer and show them the town limits, and they have to be trained by a town Edmonston employee, i.e. the police officer. So by doing that, we eliminate part of the fact of taking somebody else's bad apple and bring it over to Edmonston. We can take a regular citizen, send them to the police academy, and guarantee once they graduate that we're going to have a good candidate for Edmonston Police. The background process is still the same. They still got to do the same thing as an experienced police officer will have to do. The only difference is they have to do a 6-month training course and then 400 hours with the Edmonston FTO or field training officer, versus a experienced officer only has to do 200 and I believe 40 hours with the FTO from Edmonston.
An FTO is a field training officer?
Yes, field training officer. So we have one that's certified right now, which is Officer Van Buren. Once we select a candidate and they go through the academy, they will have to do 400 hours with Officer Van Buren.
And Your Honor, just to add to the chief, we would apply to Legit for a training grant to pay for the tuition to the academy. And then we would work with Sue Ellen to develop an agreement so that the candidate would sign to pay back if they did not graduate and become certified. I believe that would be okay, Sue Ellen, right?
Yes, you should do that.
Thank you, Rod.
Didn't we talk also about almost like non-compete agreements, or that another municipality would have to compensate us if they were going to try to hire the individual within a certain window of time, that sort of to acknowledge that we've invested financially in this person and they're benefiting, and they would have to, I don't know if that's possible. Maybe Sue Ellen can.
I think that will probably have to be a separate thing from hiring the officer. That's going to be, you know.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we could do that a little offline to kind of identify what we're trying to say, to see if that's something that other municipalities have thought about, or, you know, in other areas, other counties. Yes, you know, just like a list of this is what we're thinking kind of thing. But yeah, it's separate. But thank you, Ms. Chester, for remembering.
And we're going to adjust the estimated cost down to.
Right, I didn't mention the cost. I
Yeah,
left the cost off, yeah.
okay.
In half, that number would be half, as the chief's proposing to only pay, instead of a full salary wage during those during those 6 months in the academy, we'd only pay half salary. So that obviously would be beneficial to us a little bit.
I'll make the motion with all the,
Adjustments.
yeah,
Well, it's just a adjustment.
just the adjustment to the salary.
Mhm. All right, thank you, Ms. McCauley. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Chester. Any other discussion on that? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. And motion passes. And since we're on the police department, our police chief, would you like to give us a code and police update?
Sure. So for the month of November, we've been doing pretty good. We only had 3 auto thefts. Yeah, 3 auto thefts compared to the 4 we had last month. 3 theft from autos, and that's about it for property crimes. The officers wrote 4 parking tickets, issued 80 moving tickets, affected 2 traffic arrests and 2 criminal arrests. They conducted 127 premise checks, 31 traffic stops, 11 traffic impounds, and we answered a total of 160 calls for service. Our red light camera citations were up to 132, which generated $9,900. The impounds generated a total of $935. And that's for the police department for November 2022. Any questions? For the code compliance report for November, code compliance officer, she issued out 15 municipal infractions, which are the municipal citations. She issued 11 orange violation warning letters, which is the orange stickers that you place on the car when they're in violation of the town ordinance. 4 parking citations for her, and she conducted 8 follow-ups in reference to code compliance. She also, let me see here. She actually talked to Rod and Sue Ellen about changing some of the code ordinances, which was very needed. Some of them were outdated and some of them didn't affect what we deal with today. So I don't know how many codes they changed. I believe it was like 1 or 2. And so she's been working on that. And then also she's been working on trying to get a UNO permit for 4650 Tanglewood. They didn't provide us any documentation. They recently just applied for their UNO permit last week and gave us that application number. Any questions on any of those?
Chief, just to give you a follow-up on the meeting with Sue Ellen and Anna, she has, I believe it's about 5 actions that Sue Ellen is working on, adjustments to ordinances and language that'll be coming to the council in January. And those range from permit fees for fences under 4 feet to gravel, designating parking type of off premise parking, that what kind of material it can be and what that permit is. One of them is that she's had some difficulty with is the ringing of the bells of the ice cream trucks. And so Sue Ellen's going to try to clarify that language so that it's clear on what that means. Anna and I are going to do some research to try to get that to her so that we can get that wording a little clearer on how that works. And then I believe one of the other things she's working on is property maintenance and the peeling of paint on homes, on the fascia and on the front and on the back and sides, and making that and dealing with dead trees in private property. If there's a dead tree, how does it go? How does she go about removing it? And so Sue Ellen will be bringing those to council for introduction at the January meeting, hopefully.
Thank you, Sue Ellen, for all your hard work as well.
I do want to say that that's the first time, I think, no offense to you, Chief, because I know you were busy, but I believe that's the first time our code officer in 9 years has brought modification and changes to ordinances to make their job better and more efficient. And so I really, really appreciate Anna taking that extra effort.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yep.
Any questions for our chief? Nope. Thank you, Chief. Next, Mr. Barnes.
I'll be really brief. Just thank the council and the mayor and Chief Beal and Avery and all the other staff for a wonderful year. We're completing 2022 in different circumstances than we've done some of our previous years, as we still deal with COVID. And now I have a personal experience to even relate to that. So, but we were able to manage a lot of activities and events and improve the town greatly with our grants and our other things. And it takes a whole team to do that. And I appreciate each of you from the mayor and council, Sue Ellen, and everyone on our team that has made those things occur. We do have just a couple of ending events for the year. As we've talked about earlier, the Adopt a Child, handing out to almost 75 children. And I want to thank the Doyle family. They participated in that, as all of in fact, all of you on the council also, and Sue Ellen participated in that program, and we thank you greatly. Steel Beach post-production, Avery, everyone that's helped make that program grow. This is our 5th year of Adopt a Child. It was the mayor's brainstorm. We started, I believe, Mayor, with 15 children 5 years ago, 18 children, something of that size, and have now grown to 75. You're muted, Mayor.
No, and I know that it was less than that. It had to be 10 or less started out with.
Yeah. And I think the mayor enjoys greatly shopping. She had a big shopping excursion last night.
We did. It was great. The council has to come one of these years. Please come.
But
Yes.
that's going. Chief Bill is organized and arranged Shop at the Cop at the Target in Greenbelt on Saturday. 8 children from the community have been selected to get to go with the police officers and see Santa and enjoy refreshments and shop for themselves and their family. I think that it's a great event. And then Santa will be arriving on the fire truck next week. We don't have a specific date yet. As soon as we get that from the volunteer fire department in Bladensburg, we'll push that out on that. Santa is our own very own staff person. So we do have an inside track on when that could occur. And then our decorating contest is underway. I know Mr. Doyle's got his yard looking beautiful again, as he does for the holidays, and many others in the community have it. I had a resident text me the other night, said, yeah, we drove around all over the town just to see whose decorations were the best. And
So look, yeah.
to see whether they were going to win or not, I think was the main thing. But
competition to see if they need to put anything else up.
yeah, there you go. But the town looks beautiful. I had one of our landscapers, he brought his family just to drive down Decatur and see the lights on the poles and the Christmas tree and the mayor's tree and he sent me a text and said, my children are just thrilled with the look of the street. So it is kind of a winter wonderland holiday spirit when you do go down Decatur at night and the bus stop and everything's lit up. It looks really, really
It's
beautiful.
beautiful. It's beautiful. It makes you proud.
So thank you for supporting that, and to the Public Works guys for getting that up and working. The Mosca design team, he brought all of his staff from Richmond, Virginia and North Carolina to the town to actually see the banners and the garland on the poles. I was really impressed that they did that. So I think other than that, that is it. I thank you again for another wonderful year, and hopefully looking forward to a great 2023.
Thank you. Any questions, comments for Mr. Barnes? Nope. Well, thank you. Thank you for all your hard work, Mr. Barnes, you and all the volunteers that come out. We appreciate what you've done. Thank you for working so closely and well with us. That's so important. Council, anyone from the council? Ms. Chester, did you have anything, any comments, any reports?
I attended the PGCMA and combined with the Montgomery County meeting, and I'm trying to remember if that was, when was that now? But I
November.
think that was kind of like
November 17th, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if we've met since then, but it was, there was a lot of discussion about the streetlights, which was kind of interesting. I checked back in with Rod about, like, we own all of ours on Decatur and which other ones, and it doesn't seem like such an issue for us as some of the other municipalities that are really frustrated with that whole process. But we also just, when we broke into the separate counties, then there was a lot of discussion about how different municipalities were spending their ARPA funds. And there were a couple of municipalities that are doing similar kind of grant programs for residents related to stormwater management and mitigating and preventing flooding for individual homeowners, which seemed like really positive. And then I think it was Riverdale Park is also doing like a big kind of stormwater study. And I think it might be useful for us just to sort of kind of keep checking in with them on that, because I think that, the water issues and just sort of we're at sort of the same end of the line of a lot of the storm water systems coming towards the pumping station.
Yeah,
Those
we're
are kind of the big highlights.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ms. Chester. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
is that they seem like they're having like kind of engineers maybe coming in and looking. And so I was thinking it'd be helpful for us just to see what kind of reports and recommendations they're going to get from that engineer firm or whoever it is, and could be helpful for us as well.
We're pretty close to them. Mr. Barnes and their town administrator share creative ideas and information. So that's a good thing. And I'm pretty connected with the mayor there. So thank you. That's good information. Thanks for attending. Yeah. We meet with Montgomery County. We merge with them once a year. We've been doing that for several years. Mr. Barnes, were you going to say something?
No,
No.
just that I think that's a great idea. I'll talk to John and make sure that we know when it's completed and when we get an opportunity to see it, and maybe there's some ways that it can blend over to us. And you remember, Mayor, our group that Council Member Ivy got together. We had a January meeting to come back together to talk about what the county is going to do to help with those issues. So
I spoke with Eric Olson, County Council member, last week about that. So he's on board as well to assist in that area of stormwater management and flooding and all of that. He's one of the council members that actually stayed on the council thus far. Okay, Ms. McCulley or Mr. Johnson? Thanks, Ms. Chester. Was it anything?
No, not really.
Fantastic, thank you. Ms. McCulley?
I'll say, I'm good.
You good?
Yeah, my
Good.
one question is, do you really want me to come shopping with you all?
Yes, you would leave, or you would leave probably. You would say, what in the world?
Oh, no. I'll be the one with the cart and the second cart and the third cart, and you'll be like, no, 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 no.
We have 3 carts. Yeah,
Well,
3
I'm
carts.
just talking 3 carts for myself.
Oh, you would be getting everything for the baby.
Well, I'd be getting for everything that is on the list plus. Yeah.
Yeah, we got some pluses. It was good. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. Mr. Johnson?
Yeah, that PGCMA meeting, was that virtual?
Yes. Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
why I
was
didn't hear nothing about it.
at the time, so yeah.
But the holiday decorating over here seems starting to get a little competitive with
Oh.
new residents. The what?
Go ahead, Mr. Johnson.
No, I'm saying the holiday decorating over here at the park is starting to get a little bit more competitive with new residents. Because last year it was only a couple, but now it's like 5 or 6. So some pretty good competition this year for Christmas decoration at the park.
That's good. That's
Great.
good.
Other than that, that's all I had.
All right. Well, very good. Yes, Mr. Barnes.
just, I had asked Sue Ellen the status of the ultimate agreement for the speed camera. And I just text Mike Phelan while we were doing that, because it was back in the hands. Sue Ellen described it as a tennis match, and she had hit it back over the net to Ultimate. He just indicated they just signed it and sent it back to me tonight, just now. So it'll go to Sue Ellen in the morning for another review, because what we found out is that they seem to have a habit of making some changes, thinking that maybe we're not going to review it, I guess, closely. And
No.
Yes, and Sue Ellen goes through it with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that everything that we've all agreed to verbally and in writing is happening. So Sue Ellen, watch out for ultimate agreement in the morning.
Wow, thank you. Recently, we had a PGCMA Christmas, no, it wasn't Christmas. It was a legislative meet and greet. It was where we set our legislative priorities. It was a wonderful, wonderful turnout of our legislators. We had well, of course, the municipality showed up, and we had all of, like a ton of our legislators, our senators and our delegates were in attendance just to hear our priorities. Our president, Patrick Woljan, actually presented our priorities, and the legislators actually asked questions concerning our priorities. And so that meant that they were paying attention. Some of the things that we did have as priorities were already on the table. So that was really good. It was sort of not so formal. Usually we have a sit-down dinner, but this time it was not so formal. It was still kind of dressy, but you stood for most of the time, and you could sit down to eat. You go to the table to get your food, and you could sit down and eat. There was a mingling time, and then we had the legislative time, and then it was just so open. It was at the Equestrian Center. We had three rooms that were joined together. So they had different areas that they could go for dessert and so on. And then at the end, of course, we danced and had a wonderful time there. And it was over at 9, and maybe 9:30 we were out the door. So if you have an opportunity, maybe next year you can attend. And it was well attended, well attended. So now
How
we
do you know about that?
Yeah, they sent the emails to everyone. So,
I
but
think that's why I didn't know about it.
that could be. It could be.
Because ordinarily I attend all those things.
You do. But you've been going through some different things. So it could be that that has held you up from doing the things that you usually do, Mr. Johnson. You are very supportive.
Yes,
I know you are. But okay. So that's all I
Yeah.
have, other than hoping to see everyone tomorrow. And if not, I definitely understand. We have so much going on in the month of December. Like, it's just so much. You can't go to every party, and the public service things that we do, and the volunteering, all that, and working and functioning. So thank you though for what you've done. This has been a great year. So if we don't have anything else, Miss Ferguson, any comments or anything?
Nope.
No comment. All right, thanks so much. I will accept the motion to adjourn our meeting for this evening.
I'm waiting for somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm at the motion.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Thank
I'll
you.
second it.
Thank you,
I'll
Ms.
second.
Chester. Thank you, Ms. McCulley. And all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All right.
Right. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Good night, all.